Hey everybody, I am Goose and you're watching On With The Show. And today we're going to be talking about this crazy thing that happened in Japan with two influencers jumping into the monkey cage or the monkey enclosure where there's Punch the Monkey. And to be honest, I didn't know who Punch the Monkey was. I thought when they said everybody loves Punch the Monkey, I thought they were talking about a game or some, new TikTok trend or something going on. But no, there's an actual monkey in Japan called Punch the Monkey. He's got a rather interesting background. But these guys, well, they decided to go do something absolutely stupid and get themselves arrested. So I'm going to switch over to the OBS. I'm going to talk to you about what it's all about, and we're going to get into the story. All right, so here's the headline. Bear with me for a little bit. I don't have, for some reason, I couldn't find my glasses and my spare pair. They had so much glare from the lights. I decided to just forego them. So bear with me as I read this. And it says, the headline from CBS News says, 2 Americans arrested in Japan for climbing into viral baby monkey punches zoo enclosure. This is written by Frank Andrews, and I think it's Sierra Moran. Updated yesterday on the 18th. And it says here, 2 American nationals were arrested Sunday in Japan after one of them entered the monkey enclosure at a zoo where a baby macaque monkey named Punch became a global internet sensation earlier this year. In a statement shared with CBS News' Japanese partner network TBS News, in Ichikawa, police department identified suspects as 24-year-old Reed Janai Dason, who they said was a university student, and Neil Jabari Dwan, 27, who told police he was a singer. Okay. Dason reportedly climbed over a fence and dropped into a dry moat surrounding the monkey exhibit in Ichikawa City Zoo outside Tokyo. Dwan allegedly filmed it. Images on social media showed a person scaling the fence in a costume that included a smiley face with sunglasses, prompting the monkeys to scatter. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for just a minute, and I'm going to go to the video that we got from KTLA News in Los Angeles. I got it from their YouTube channel.
And maybe a little bit too much. 2 Americans were arrested after trying to break into his enclosure at the Ichikawa Zoo in Japan. Police detained Reed Janai Dason and Neil Jabari Dwan, both in their 20s.
Oh my gosh.
One man jumped the fence while the other filmed.
Oh my gosh.
A person in a blue suit.
Look at this.
Stuffed emoji head climbing into and around the enclosure.
So
that emoji used to promote...
Look at this. Just pause this for me. So here he is. He loses his head, by the way. And all the monkeys scatter over here. They're terrified of what's going on. There are a few of them who are walking over. I guess they're like, what is going on? What is going on? What is this over here? But they're scattered. They're all they ran for their lives. And this genius jumps over this fence and lands into the moat with this big old head on his,
In coin cryptocurrencies, the macaques reportedly were terrified, having gone long on Dogecoin back in 2021. The intruder also was seen with a stuffed toy. The 2 curious Georges were arrested and charged with obstructing zoo operations.
Look at that.
Punch is a viral monkey in the way that he went viral after his mom abandoned him, went off on his own and fell in love with a stuffed toy. You know, the classic LA story. Some 50 monkeys live in the enclosure. They are all okay. Punch, of course, has very little understanding of his worldwide fame. Last we heard, true story, he was dating an older woman, a 5-year-old named Momo-chan. The zoo is now installing nets and permanent security patrols.
Yeah. It's just a shame that these dunces, are good.
Dunces?
They just get so much publicity, make so much money for just being dumb.
Yes.
And doing stupid things.
The ephemerality of teenage boy youth.
Yeah.
Always been doing it, never quite as much reward today. If I had known, let me just go back 25 years, right?
You could be a professional dunce and make money.
I mean,
You would have.
I could have.
Oh my gosh. All right, so let's just pause. That's the end of the video. Let's just back out of this and go back to the go back to the CBS article as soon as I could switch this over. There we go. I knew eventually. This is the joy of doing this live. I'm recording this live for you all because I don't I edit very little in this whole thing. The men did not come close to the animals. They were quickly apprehended by zoo officials. An official with the Ichiwan police told French news agency AFP the two men face charges of forcibly obstruction of business, which they refute. No, I mean, forcible obstruction of business. You jumped into a monkey enclosure during zoo hours. I mean, that's kind of an obstruction of business. Sorry for a minute. The duo did not have formal identification with them and initially tried to lie to police about their names. Oh, now this gets even better. So they don't even bother, they pulled a stunt and they don't have any identification, which I think for some weird reason is, I don't know if this is something that's like normal in the influencer world. Like, don't get caught with any identifying marks. I mean, or any identification on you, which, is something I'm sure that, Jack Doherty should have thought of long ago. It's like, if I get into this and I don't have any ID, they won't know who I am. Of course, they just got to look at your YouTube channel or your Instagram page or whatever, TikTok. It all gets kind of out of hand. Just keep going. The Ichiwa Zoo said in a post on its X account Monday that from Tuesday, access to view the enclosure housing punch would be restricted with intrusion prevention nets installed and permanent patrols at the site getting underway. Zoo managers were also discussing banning video recording at the site. This is becoming a new thing because I think Disney, and I'll talk about this. I'll talk about this tomorrow because Disney actually are coming up with new things to, I guess for people who do live streams at Disney after there was a swatting call on the park, and it actually happened in one day at 3 different locations. I'll get into that, man. I was thinking about getting that, but I wasn't sure. But after this, I think I just have my podcast for tomorrow, so we'll get into that. But banning video recording at the site, it just hurts everybody. The zoo said no abnormalities have been observed among the animals, thank God. A hashtag hanging in their punch. The arrests come after the zoo saw a surge in domestic and international visitors driven by Punch's viral fame. The baby monkey became an internet star earlier this year after the zoo. God dang it. I got all these flies flying over and coming out of nowhere. Posted photos of him clutching an IKEA plush orangutan for comfort after being rejected by his mother. Punch was raised by an artificial environment after being born in July, and he began training to rejoin his troop earlier this year. His predicament sparked huge interest online, sparking a devoted fan base under hashtag hanging in their punch. So, there's more to it. An unprecedented number of tourists have flocked to Japan in recent years, but some of the residents have become fed up by foreigners' unruly behavior. Yes, this is getting out of hand. Last year, a Ukrainian YouTuber with more than 6.5 million subscribers was arrested after live streaming himself trespassing in a house in the Fukushima nuclear exclusion zone. Oh, I heard about this. And an American content creator known as Johnny Somali was arrested in 2023 for allegedly trespassing on a construction site. Yeah, let's just get into this very, very quickly because this stuff has been getting out of hand a lot. And especially, in Japan, where a lot of these American influencers, TikTokers, Instagram influencers, they go over there, thinking they can get, some type of a reaction out of their foolishness from the Japanese people. And the Japanese people just kind of look at them like, really, dude? Because I don't think we understand fully the culture of Japan, which is very different than in America. But I'm going to get in on this on the other side. I'm going to give you my thoughts, and I'm going to start preparing for tomorrow's podcast, which is going to be about Disney and they're doing their new rules for their live streamings and their videos, because a lot of people are talking about how maybe there shouldn't be so much, influencers and stuff at the parks because they're causing problems. But I'm going to also talk about that one night where basically there were 3 swatting events, one of them at the mall, one of them at Disneyland, another one at a house. So, but let me close out the OBS. We're going to get on the other side of this about these 2 Americans in Japan, and I'm going to give you my opinion on this. So just hold on. So I'm not surprised that these 2 young men are being arrested for this, because this has been a growing trend, especially with American influencers going into Japan. Again, trying to get more hits and clicks, and they think that, if I do something foolish like fall on the ground and tap on them, that they think that I'm going to get a reaction. And the Japanese people just keep on going. They're getting very, very tired of all of this foolishness. I would not be surprised here if these 2 young men were made an example of. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they had to serve some type of jail time, if they had to pay some type of fine. They probably have thought, well, we're just going to go over there. We're just going to shoot this video, and it's going to give viral clicks, and we're going to be famous off of it, and blah, 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 which is, it has been the norm for influencers. And here's the thing. I say this with all respect, but I don't ever, me personally, on any of my channels, I don't ever want to be called an influencer. I don't want to influence anybody. I mean, I have a hard time just with the term subscribers. I think I call you all my fans. Anybody who watches On With the Show, and anybody who watches our other channel, Travel by Nature, you're our fans. You're not our subscribers. You're not our followers. I don't want to be an influencer. I just want to be able to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do anything that's going to try to be outrageous, or, that would get me borderline arrested. I mean, it's just what ends up happening. And I think this is the sad state of everything, is that a lot of these TikTokers, Instagrammers, whatever, they achieve a certain amount of success with 1 or 2 videos that go viral. And then they end up trying to chase. It's like chasing any other high. They try to chase the next viral hit because, oh my gosh, look how much money we made. I need to figure out. And so they try to do the next most outrageous event, and they end up getting arrested, maybe getting themselves hurt seriously. Maybe some of them have even died based on some of the stuff that they've done. And it's not anything personally that I would want to get involved with. For me, it's like I have my vlog. We go out and we do our stuff. I have this show. I love talking about different stuff. It's like what the newscaster said. You could have been rich by being a dumb, an idiot, a buffoon, And I know that he basically said there's this, when I was a young man, basically he talked about, teen behavior. These 2 guys are not teens. They're in their 20s. They're chasing viral fame by doing something absolutely outrageous. And what ends up happening is that any other American that comes over there, they're now going to continue to be suspicious. Any American now with a camera is going to be suspicious to them. What are they going to do? Are they going to be disrespectful? I mean, because that's what, I'll be honest. Americans we think that we should be able to do whatever we want. And the truth is, if we go to another country and we do something disrespectful and illegal, we should get arrested. These guys should be arrested. And they're just sitting back acting like this is no big deal. Like, we'll be back on a plane, we'll be back in the States in no time. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up spending a few weeks in jail. In a Japanese jail for the dumbest, what did you guys do? Well, we jumped in to punch the monkeys enclosure. Oh, that was you guys? I mean, this is just absolutely we don't, and even us as Americans, we don't appreciate it when people from other countries, like, disrespect us and our customs and everything else. And we're pretty open. We have freedom of speech, freedom of religion. We're pretty open to a lot of different crazy stuff. But don't disrespect our laws. Don't disrespect, our culture. And the crazy part is that's what we do when we go to other countries. And we're getting, and it seems like the worst of us are the ones going over there and doing these stupid, crazy things. Let's just be honest. If I were to go to another country, let's just go back. I'm going to go back years ago, maybe a couple of decades ago. There was a teenager, I think, who was arrested, I think, in China I think it was graffiti. He was spraying graffiti on a wall or something, and he was arrested. And he was like some diplomat's son or something, or some businessman's son, and he didn't think he would get into, and it ended up, if you have not looked, this is this is how old I am. Okay, so let me bear with me. And the kid was arrested, he was tried, he was found guilty, and his sentence was he was going to be caned. He was going to be caned, okay? Now, a lot of you are probably like, what in the world is being caned? Well, think of it like in a kendo stick, right? Think of it a kendo stick. Think about being whacked with a kendo stick on the back. I don't know how many lashes he got. But that was his sentence. He was going to be punished. That was his punishment. And all of a sudden, everybody came out of, oh, well, he shouldn't be treated. It was just a mistake. I mean, it wasn't like he did anything serious. It was just graffiti. I mean, that's caning. That's some harsh punishment. That's physical. I mean, he's going to live with that for the rest of yes, he's going to live with that for the rest of his life. He went to another country and disrespected them and painted, graffiti on the wall. Yes, it's kind of acceptable here. It's not acceptable over there. Please don't mind the dog. It's my neighbor's dog. But I'm making a point here. It's like, if we go to another country and we do something illegal, we do something disrespectful there, we should be expected to be punished. No matter what I know of some countries you can't spit on the ground. You can't throw, you can't even throw gum on the ground. You can't spit on the ground. You can get arrested for that. I know some countries, and I'm not going to get into it, deeply with this topic here, but there are some countries where you can't even post something on social media that's considered hateful. You can be arrested. I know that sounds ridiculous. I know here in America, it's like, posting something on social media is like, almost like no big deal. It's almost like a rite of passage. But you do something like that in another country, it's almost just like you can be handcuffed and taken to jail. All right, so we need to be mindful of the laws of other countries. We need to be respectful of people in other countries. We don't go to Japan and do something as idiotic as jumping into a monkey enclosure and filming it for TikTok or Instagram. I mean, let me just put it to you like this: if that was done here, if these guys would have done that at, like, I don't know, the LA Zoo, the San Francisco, matter of fact, in the San Francisco Zoo a few years back, this guy actually got mauled by a tiger because he pissed the tiger off. That actually happened. And I don't know if the guy like jumped into the tiger enclosure or what, but he ended up dead. Oh, nothing's going to happen. I'm going to be okay. If that would have happened here, LA Zoo, New York Zoo, Bronx Zoo, whatever zoo, people would be outraged. People should be outraged. Americans should look at this and go, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why would you do this? And the reason is because here's the thing. Let me make this one point. The reason they would go to Japan to do it, not just because of Punch the Monkey. I mean, you understand that. Not just because the guy he was dressed in an outfit to promote some type of cryptocurrency, right? Which I guess is some challenge. And whatever, and let's just be honest, any TikTok challenge that's out there, I think we all need to kind of like sit back and go, is this really a wise thing to do? Should we really do this? But the reason Americans would go to Japan or another country and do this stupid stunt is because if they did it here, it wouldn't be considered a stunt. It would be considered illegal. It would be considered bad if it was done here in the States. So let's go to Japan, where they apparently, they're such docile, the Japanese are such docile people, and really, trust me, they're not. I know some Japanese people who are very hardcore. They'd kick your ass if you weren't careful. But we go there to do it because we know if we did it here, we get in a lot of trouble. We would get in a lot of trouble. And so I think we need to make it a point where it's like, if you're going to do something stupid, like jumping into a monkey enclosure, then, maybe you should think about what the repercussions are going to be when you get arrested and you think, oh, nothing's really going to happen. I'm going to be okay. Anyway, I've talked enough about this. Like I said, this topic has already given me a topic for tomorrow. So I'm going to get it when I finish this. I'm going to already start working on tomorrow's show. But if you haven't already, go down, subscribe to the channel, bang the bell for notifications, bang, bang, bang the bell for notifications. So you always know when a new podcast is loaded onto YouTube. Give me a big like on the video. Let me know that you like the video because it does help me with the algorithm. And it does tell me that these are the kind of topics you want me to talk about. Share this out to your friends, family, neighbors. Let them know what I'm doing over here with the show. And do me a favor. Leave me a comment. What do you think is going to happen to these guys? Do you think they're going to get off light, or do you think they're going to end up like cleaning out the monkey cages for 3 years? That would be the punishment I would give them. You and I now have to clean out the monkey cages for 3 years. Good luck. And make sure you take a video of it so you can put it on TikTok. All right. I'm all done for today. Thank you so much for watching. I am Goose. This is On With The Show. I will catch you all on the other side.